I want to start by thanking FACE. I have a 3-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they ask me, who are you talking to today? Why is it so important? And I was explaining that these people are not only very important, but they're like the word champions. And I had the piece of paper with the word champions. And of course, being boys, they thought superheroes. So I want to think, yes, you are superheroes. For me as a patient, I want to tell you why research has mattered, so that you can imagine yourselves what you might be confronted with, have been confronted with, one day might be confronted with this. In Euromelanoma Day 2008, I was diagnosed with melanoma stage 1. I did all the procedures that a melanoma patient has to do. They took away the tumor. They told me I was fine. They look at the sentinel node, the lymph nodes, and they said, you're going to be fine. We got it in time. 6 months later, unfortunately, the melanoma cells had traveled to my lymphatic system, and I was given the very bad news that I was a stage 3C, which means just right before metastatic disease. At Christmas, I got the bad news on December 18, 2009, that unfortunately, now the disease was metastatic. So like Marisa was saying, research became, for me, a matter of life or death. It is about survival. How it has affected me is that already when I was early diagnosis, they proposed that I participate in a clinical trial. I'm a social scientist by training. I'm a researcher. So I was immediately curious and accepted. I participated in a dendritic cell vaccination, so it's a cancer vaccine. And that's probably why I'm sitting here today, because it made a difference with my immune system. But when the cancer progressed, I realized that there had to be a shift in my approach. I had to become much more proactive. I started looking at information and research for cancer in a very different way, very strategic way. And I had to negotiate a different relationship with my medical team, which involved me talking to them about what I had read, because they don't have time to go to the clinical trial information in detail. I had to actively look at strategy. I came to him with a big piece of paper with everything that I knew about melanoma, all the different trials that I had heard about in Europe, in the US, where could I go, the feasibility, the quality of life issues. And talking about not just quality of life as defined by the study, but as defined by me, the fact that I was living in Brussels with 2 kids, a husband, and that I could not just travel. I have a full-time job. I'm a university professor. So with this big piece of paper that I still have, my strategic plan, I go back to research and I come back to my team and we talk about research. And now I have, since the metastatic disease in December, in this process, identified different clinical trials that I could participate in. And that was the big wake-up call, and the reason why I'm sitting here today, why I contacted European Cancer Patient Coalition, because I thought if the research is there, the trial is there, it's just a matter of signing in and participating, and it is not. Then I found out all about cross-border health, how difficult it is. Me being in Brussels, it just required me going to Paris to get the treatment. And I got immediately problems with health insurance, with doctors saying, it is an initiative of the patient. And I said, hell yeah, I want to be alive. So it is an initiative of the patient. And I'm supported by my team and my oncologist. But they said it is an initiative of the patient. And this first blockage, I could have sat down and said, okay, I'm just going to go and do the standard treatment, which just has not shown anything on melanoma, which is chemo. And then I saw European Cancer Patient Coalition webpage. And there was a little page saying, tell us your stories about cross-border health. And I told my story to Jan. And this is how the ball started rolling. They helped me. I got help from the university. I got help from top Belgium lawyers, from the president of the university, from the press. They did a story on Le Soir, half-page story. My students mobilized themselves. You have no idea how supported I felt, but at the same time, how disgusted I felt of how unfair it was. That I have a PhD, a postdoc, I'm a university professor, I can do this. What about the people that are too sick and they cannot do this? And I met a young patient, Quentin, who was very sick. He was not only metastatic, but they told him he's terminal. He wanted to get into the same trial in Paris, but they said, no, sorry, it's too hard to get the E112 form. We just refused another Belgian patient, so basically no, deal with this in Belgium. That patient found the same trial in the US that accepted him. And he's alive now, and he's doing well. So when I was refused in Paris, then I fought for my right. I was able to go to Paris. Luckily, my tumors were too small. I move on to the next trial. I see there's a trial in the UK for a vaccine. I contact the hospital, they say, sorry, only for UK patients, not available for you. Move on to the next trial. And now I'm on to my 4th trial. I'm about to start chemo July 2nd. But this is the life of a patient, and research for me is life or death. This is my strategy of survival, is getting all the information that I can from websites, from my doctor, from Cancer TV, because you summarize beautifully everything that comes from the conferences in oncology. And with this information, I have my strategic plan. And my strategic plan is to survive. And I will for as long as I can. But you have to realize that for a patient, being at the center of the dialogue like it is today is wonderful because it's so empowering. It makes you want to participate. It makes you want to help your medical team. It makes you want to get involved in patient associations and to be there for all of those that are too sick, do not have the education, cannot have the access, do not have the information in the right language. So for me and for a lot of cancer patients and my family, my kids and everybody that knows me, research is vital. And the changes that will occur, I hope, from this type of initiatives will benefit all of us. And for me, it might mean 6 months more, a year more, 2 years more. And if I believe the latest data on the drug that I want to get on my 4th trial, even 7 years. And being 40 with 2 young kids, that's huge. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And I hope that the cross-border health initiatives, access to research, support to our oncologists for research is really going to continue to move forth because it is essential.